Rachel. I am the creator behind Awkward Annie Comics. I thought I'd just make a quick video to introduce myself and explain how Awkward Annie Comics came about. I've been doing this for around 2.5 years now. Been really meaning to get on YouTube, so here I am. Right now, as I'm filming this, we are in lockdown because of the coronavirus. So a lot of free time, hopefully a lot of people have time to watch these videos. So I'm just going to quickly explain how this account came about, how my ideas came about, where they came from, where the awkwardness comes from, who knows. I'm going to go back to some of my original comics, which are quite entertaining, where my ideas come from, how they develop, and what my plans are. So I currently live in a small town in Cheshire in England. In January of this year I bought a house. Congratulations to me. Unfortunately, I now can't do any work on that house because I'm in lockdown. Like an hour's drive away. So the house is kind of half finished. We still need to put a lot of floor down, still need to do some painting. A lot of furniture still needs to go in, so as soon as this lockdown is lifted I can carry on with it and then hopefully move in by the end of this year. So once I've talked you through a little bit more about my account and how it started, I can show you some of my old comics and show you some photos of my unfinished house. The origin of the character Awkward Annie probably stems a lot from myself. She has a very thick, blunt fringe with the awkward little gaps in there. That's how I used to look as a kid. If I can find some old photos, I will show you, because my mum insisted that I had a really thick, blunt fringe. As you can see, my hair is very thick. It does what it wants. So I have this kink in the middle right there. You can't really see it now because I've worked around it. But if I have a fringe or bangs, it just goes like that, and I have a constant gap at all times. There's nothing you can do about it. So that was where that came from, because it's kind of dorky and kind of cute. So, and also when I first started, I wasn't that good at drawing eyes. So I was like, what is the best idea that I can come up with to hide the eyes? So I was like, okay, let's give this character a big thick fringe. And then in terms of the name, I was thinking, well, I'm kind of awkward, I'm kind of a nerd, I'm a little dorky. What can I call this character to be relatable to a lot of people and also something that I can relate to, so I can create a lot of comics quite easily from that name. So I think I started with the word awkward at first. I was maybe throwing around dorky and nerdy at the same time as well, but I eventually settled on Awkward Annie. So that's where that name comes from. The comics themselves are mostly drawn on awkward experiences that I've had, or just mostly everyday awkward things that we come across in life. Relatable comics, everyday things, you know, just little things to make us laugh. It's nothing too serious. I sometimes might pick up on things that my friends have told me or my family have told me, or things that happen at work, things that happen when I'm out and about, things I see on the train. I've always been a bit of a people watcher, so if I'm out somewhere I might look for inspiration while I'm out. Yeah, so everywhere, every part of life, I'm always looking for relatable situations, awkward moments, and I have a list of ideas in my phone, so as soon as something pops into my head I put it into my phone. Most things make sense. Some things I look at it and I'm like, what did I even mean? But there we go. My background isn't in comic drawing or graphics or anything like that. I've always been quite a creative person. I studied fashion design at college, fashion communication at university, so I've always been very creative. I then kind of fell into fashion retail and marketing, so that involved a bit of graphics work, and since then I've worked in marketing. But what I found is if you're marketing for another company, obviously you can't be as creative as you want because you're working within those company restrictions and their branding. So I decided to create my own account with my own little drawings that I could brand and keep growing myself. Hopefully to try and learn how social media works, how YouTube works, through first-hand experience, through my own creations. So I'd already followed some comic accounts on Instagram, so I was seeing how they work and, relating to them, finding them funny, liking them, saving them, sending to friends. So I think that's where I came up with the idea of starting a comic account, because I thought something that is quick and relatively easy to do, doesn't take much equipment. I have an iPad and an Apple Pencil, which aren't exactly cheap equipment, but it's quite quick to produce the comics. Before I started this comic account, I had another account going called Creative Happy Hour. This was something I really wanted to get stuck into, but it was just very, very time consuming. I had the idea of kind of blogging and posting on social media about different crafts, specifically ones that could be stress relief, helping with stress and anxiety. So I did things like making cakes and sewing and weaving, loads of different kinds of crafts, but just to get that content was so time consuming. With a full-time job, it was almost impossible. So I've not given up on it. I still have a domain name, I still have the Instagram, but it's bookmarked for a later date when I have a lot more time. So I'm going to show you now the first ideas of the character and the comics. They've changed a lot, I think. Obviously the character is still there, but it's quite funny to see the original ones. Okay, I'm going to show you now. These are some of the first things I was playing around with in Procreate. So I started with some brush lettering on these template sheets. So I practiced with a few of those. I think I used one of the calligraphy pens, the script pen or the brush pen. So that's quite fun to play around with if you can download some lettering sheets. And you can try out different ones. Try using different brushes. It's just good to experiment as well. And maybe if you could download some colouring sheets, that might get you used to different layers and different colouring options as well within the app. So these are the first drawings I did for Awkward Annie to put on Instagram. This one was the first ever drawing that I did. I first drew this on paper when I had the first idea for the character, and then downloaded Procreate and put it straight into the app. So as you can see, it's the general idea of the character is exactly the same, with the big hair and the dodgy fringe, but it has got better over the years. Yeah, that was my first idea, kind of looking in the mirror, awkwardly looking at yourself before you leave the house. That was, I think, my first profile picture on Instagram, maybe. You can see here some of the lines are a bit wobbly, so I hadn't streamlined it or anything. But yeah, generally the same character ideas, just a little more streamlined and a little neater. This was the first proper comic that I did, or the first proper sort of story post. I don't think I ever posted this one to Instagram. This was just kind of based around when you go to the hairdressers and you're sat in front of the mirror staring at your own reflection. It's the most awkward thing ever, making small talk with a hairdresser. This was probably the only time I've revealed Annie's eyes. Probably needs to still get better at those, and the weird little hands as well. So I might revisit that, I've just never posted that. Some other ones I've done here. Drew a few different characters. My first pie chart, I've done a few of those. This one was the first sort of series that I did. Again, based around my crazy hair. So based around the idea that my hair is constantly frizzy, even when I straighten it, it ends up being frizzy again. All these I started to post to Instagram regularly. So I was probably drawing every couple of days or something. There's some for Christmas there, New Year. So sort of going with what's popular at the time or what time of year it is. I drew as an emoji, the dancing emoji there. This one's probably still quite relevant. If you're in lockdown, you spend a lot of time in the fridge, like me. These are a couple of YouTube covers that I did. Because in Procreate, if you can turn on the time-lapse video, so as you're drawing it, it'll take a video of it. So I posted a couple of those to YouTube. There's another one there. Yeah, and this just goes through sort of my timeline of drawings, which are mostly all on Instagram. There was somewhere at some point when I changed the font to something a bit neater and a bit more readable. Some collaborations in here as well that I've done with other comic artists. A couple more collaborations there. And there we go, that was the first one that I used the new font. So I carried on with the new font across the next few comics, and then I eventually made my own font in, I think it's called iFont Maker. There's a cost to that as well, but it saves so much time and it made it so much easier. Especially when Procreate brought out the text feature as well. Some of these I made into stickers. That was my profile picture for a while. Celebrating 10k. These are some free wallpapers that are on my profile. These are my highlight covers. Oh yeah, these are the stickers that I did. So most of them are Instagram posts. Some of them are YouTube covers, Facebook covers, some prints that I tried out. That is a little thank you postcard for where my shop is set up. And I did a couple of things, printables to put on Etsy as well. So yeah, everything's saved in here. And it just keeps going. Okay, so they were the first few drawings I did of Awkward Annie on Procreate using my iPad. I don't think I have any on paper. I think I might have done one, but then did it straight on Procreate because I wanted to do it digitally. My plan for the account is just to keep growing it, hopefully get a lot more followers, get a lot more people relating to the content, liking it and sharing it, and just having a laugh in these weird times. My short-term plan is to keep growing the account, keep posting on YouTube, try and remember to post across every platform because I always neglect Twitter and I don't know why because it's so easy to post. My next video I plan to do a small basic tutorial on Procreate. If you have an iPad or a tablet, it's fairly easy to use. It's like a very simplified version of Photoshop. There is also Adobe Sketch, which I think is still free, that has a lot of capabilities as well. So there's a couple of apps for you to look at if you want to stop by next time for a Procreate tutorial. I'll also drop some photos of my house that I'm working on, so you can see the very exciting half-finished progress of where I will soon hopefully be living. And that's it for now. So if you have any more questions about my highly exciting lockdown life, please drop them in the comments or find me on Instagram.